So take it away, Turner.
Thanks, Kateri. Go ahead and confirm. Can everyone see my screen already? Are you able to see my screen? Hello? Okay. Wonderful. See people in the Zoom chat. Feel free to ask questions in the little chat feature or with the raise hand. Kateri, if you could help me keep an eye on that. If you see any good questions, just interrupt me. Today I'm going to run through a pretty high-level presentation of CommissionTrac. And we built this platform to give transparency back to agents on the whole commission process and everything that gets done after the deal until they get paid, as well as management reports, automating accounting, and in general having a single-stop shop for all things that happen between getting a deal done and paying the house and the agents who actually brought it. Looks like we've got a question here. Okay. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And you can see we do give everyone their own subdomain. So we're just in a demo account today. The deals may look a little crazy. Sometimes we like to show the extremes of just how flexible the platform is with our demo environment. And keep in mind, we've really been at this since 1994 with our first product, LeaseCom. So it'd be difficult for you to throw a deal at us that we haven't seen or wouldn't be able to manage. One nice thing about subdomaining is it does allow us to uniquely integrate your instance of CommissionTrac with just about anything, especially through our partnership with OpenBox, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. You can integrate CommissionTrac with anything with an open API or that you have direct access to on your machine. We'll go ahead and log in, and keep in mind we're going to look today only at the management permission set, where you get to see everything on the whole brokerage as though you're the owner of a brokerage or one of the principals or managers of a team. We do have a portal for agents that's much more limited, where they can see information on their own deals, their own renewals, and run things like a 1099 report for taxes at the end of the year, or download voucher data for $1 Million Club, things like that, making it really easy for the agents to get their own information instead of weighing down your back office with requests. Some of the first things that you see are just top of mind running a brokerage. Current aged receivables, top receivables that we've earned but we haven't collected. We've got our pipeline for the months coming up as well as years. So if we do some over the terms or have things going out into future years, or even want to track the value of renewals options that are out in the future, we can plug those in for better pipeline management and forecasting. As well as if we break down our revenue into various buckets. We do connect directly with QuickBooks or other general ledger accounting systems, where you'll actually be able to set up the same general ledger account information, your bank account information, and various charge categories so that everything lines up one for one, CommissionTrac and general ledger. Even marking things as expenses or 1099, again, to make taxes at the end of the year really easy, as well as, and I'm going to jump around a little bit in here, we do have the ability for you to create recurring one-time or draw plan expense structures for agents. So if you've got new agents that come on and you're going to put them on a draw plan to help them eat for their first year or so, we easily facilitate that as well. The main things that I'm going to go through today are a little bit of setup. I don't want to bore you with how we set up the actual platform. And then the key three pieces, which is capture, account, and report. We'll be using our vouchers to show how we capture deal information. We'll be able to look at some of the accounting workflows, like how we automate the creation and delivery of invoices and statements, how we do deposits and automate the distributions from those, and how all of your ledgers for receivables and payables, every entry is automated. So you never have to keep up with carrying the one or manually doing journal entries for both payables and receivables. And all of that happens as you go through these easy step-by-step workflows where you don't necessarily have to be an accountant to manage this platform. Generally, I actually watched my 89-year-old grandfather enter a voucher into the system, which we've got a great video of coming up. So I'm positive anyone can do it. Certainly if I can, I'm confident you can. I did have one question, so I'm going to press pause and respond to that really quickly from Julius. What browsers are supported and are there plugins required? There are no plugins required, and we support currently Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, with Edge coming soon. The last piece there, so capture, accounting workflows, and then reports. And we'll look at the reports at the very end. These are just your standard management of a brokerage reports, things like who owes me money, what have agents earned, how much money has come in the door, what leases are set for expiration within a certain date range, and then ways to pull your data into Excel, your payables and receivables ledger and voucher Excel report. Let's get started. One thing you may be wondering is, do we carry all of your agents, and can we facilitate things like split plans, tiered split plans, all of the fun things like that? Yes. So I'll show you split levels really quickly, and just one of them, maybe a tiered split plan for senior agents, where based on gross commission in this instance, for the first 100,000 they bring in gross, they keep 60% of that commission, and then it moves up to 70%, 80%, 90%. And once they brought in $1 million in gross, from there all the way on up, they're going to keep 95% of that money. So you can really use this to attract talent from another shop by never having to worry about the operational overhead that comes with creating a new split plan or changing someone's split plan, or in the middle of a year giving someone a promotion that comes with a new commission structure. Simply plug it into CommissionTrac or ask us to do it for you, and it happens. I've had a number of customers come to us where the reason they are now using CommissionTrac is they had a great system for their small brokerage. As it grew, they created more and more split plans. Someone came along, they made a quick edit in their Excel spreadsheet that they were using to manage the process, added an extra zero or decimal place in the wrong spot, and miscalculated commissions, overpaid agents or underpaid them, and decided they wanted something a little bit more trustable than an Excel formula. Other piece would be being able to set up your individual users. One thing that's important, and we'll get to it if we look at pricing at the end, you only pay for your active agents that are creating deals. So if someone creates a deal, he's still got commissions owed, but then he leaves the shop and retires, you can make him inactive and we will no longer bill you for them. They just won't be able to be added to new commission plans. Also, you'll see for each user, they can have one or many split plans that they can use, as well as permission sets, agent, manager, or bookkeeper. I'm not going to spend any more time on the setup. Let's actually look at a couple of deals. And this is where, as soon as the deal is done, we're going to come into CommissionTrac and create a new voucher. We'll take a look at one that's already full so that we don't have to watch me enter data today. And this looks like it was a flat fee sale of a warehouse. We can see we've selected sale. We have many different types and subtypes, things like lease renewals, where you can attach renewal to an existing lease. And of course, if anyone wants to go into a more depth view of CommissionTrac and look at the dynamic aspects of this voucher and how we create them, of course, just go to CommissionTrac.com. There's a big green button, request a demo, and it'll be a one-on-one 30-minute session. We do let you customize this voucher, so you can see in this demo account, they do track regions. So maybe they want to segment the business that comes in by what regions they're doing business in, maybe by industry, which industries they work with, or business source. Did it come from the website or referral or a network? Things like tenant improvement dollars, basic information on the property and the deal, as well as exactly where does that invoice need to go, what's the email, so we can automate the creation of invoices and delivery of them for you. And again, just record keeping, everything in one place. We can see on the commission tab some key dates for this sale, This was a flat fee. Here's that charge category where we can tie this directly to QuickBooks so it automates journal entries for you, and then the actual commission amount. We track things like free rent on leases as well and all sorts of fun stuff. If you do annuities, over the term payments, which can be a nightmare to track in itself, we do all of that as well. You can see this is a total amount, flat fee, $5,000. We've got, looks like a couple of agents on it. We did have a referring agent. We can easily add those in, or any pre-split deduction. Say maybe we gave them 5%, or if we just agreed to a flat fee, we can easily put in either one, and these cells are going to be tied. We also put in each one of our producing agents, how much they shared of the deal, and what split plan we want to use. We don't show anything here that is going to tell anyone that's looking at this or doing the data entry exactly how much everyone's going to earn or what their split plans look like. We just let them see which split plan is being chosen and the amount they own of that deal. That way Thomas doesn't get upset that Emily has a better junior split plan than he does if he takes a look at CommissionTrac. Another nice thing is attachments. We don't charge any extra for you to drop your leases or pictures of checks or anything really into the deal. So if you really just wanted to drop a simple PDF, you can drag and drop it in here, and it's always available for you to then download from the system. So you can keep the actual lease, commission agreement, renewal options, everything that is associated with this deal in one place again. Also, if you have a admin that's going to be managing this for you, of course, we train everyone at no cost. Hopefully they leave notes if there's something unique about the deal, so that if they hit the lottery, move to Hawaii, and are never going to answer a phone call about your commissions again, there's a nice record trail. The new person comes in, send them to CommissionTrac University, they become an expert, and they can use the platform. And it does leave a nice timestamp, so you've got an activity log and notes on each deal. Let's jump out of here and see what, once we created that voucher, how we automate some journal entries for you. So here's that deal, the flat fee sale of the warehouse. It looks like they've already paid $1,000 of the total $5,000. We can see down at the bottom there's still a remaining balance of $4,000. If we wanted to create a statement or an invoice, we'll just take a quick look at one of these invoices. These are branded, so you can customize them to your company, get company information and custom comments, and then the system's going to create them for you. And you can batch them up and send them. You can click one button and send a batch of invoices off to the appropriate emails that we already have on file from those vouchers. Or you can download them directly to your machine in a PDF. If you have that landlord that needs you to actually stuff an envelope and send him something in the physical mail. And it's pretty straightforward. You can get out of here really quickly and jump into what happens when they actually send money in. And I know this never happens, where maybe we send a couple of invoices to someone we've done a few deals with and they send us back one check for a strange amount. But let's take a look at that just because. And in this deposit facility in general, this is one of our most favored areas of the application by our customers, because we're saving just here in processing time coming from Excel 30 to 90 minutes on cash out deals, and even more time on annuitized deals. So when we add a simple check, we come in here and let's go ahead and pay off the rest of this $4,000 for that deal we just looked at, that flat fee sale, and another $450 from this lease of land. They sent us one check for a couple of charges. 4450, or let's just say 4440. They left us a little bit of money that we still need. Come down here and say, okay, the first thing we want to pay off is the rest of this $4,000. Click a button, our open balance is down to 0, and the rest is going to voucher 14. We can see that they are $10 short. It knows this. $10 balance still here. We have $0 left to apply. We can go ahead and come down here. And if we wanted to, I got this, let's get this out of here. If I wanted to preview the distribution, if I'm, trying to make sure that I got every check in, maybe I did a deposit of 20 checks and I just want to double check, I can see the deposit recap. the pro forma distribution, as well as the total checks and where I applied them. I can always come back and download that. And then when I click post, a lot of magic is happening right now. You could have put in 20 checks for 20 different deals, and it's going to reference every single one of them, and then go ahead and make the appropriate journal entries for you. So on the receivables side, we're going to make the counter journal entries for each of the charges that we just paid off. So here's that $4,000, bringing us back down to zero. And then we're going to go through the distribution tree. Were there any outside agents on this deal that we need to give a referral fee to or take a pre-split deduction? Were there what agents were on this deal? Where are they in their split plans? Did they cross through a tier? Do I need to break this up and calculate it at two different rates because they crossed through from 60% to 70% on that one check? All of that is done for you. And then the journal entries are created. So we can see the brokerage house collected some on that deposit. So did Emily Line. We can even see exactly how much. Here's those two commission credits, one from the flat fee sale of the warehouse and one for 14, the lease of the land. Here's how much Emily just got. It's time to do agent payment. All I have to do is click a couple buttons, put my starting check number in. If I do have agent expenses or draw plans and I want to take a look at them, I can just click one button and I can edit those right here before I create payroll. Or preview credits, and it's going to give you a nice little statement, again, for further transparency on where every dollar goes. So here's what Emily Line gets. Here's the two deposits that were made, the gross amounts that were deposited, how much she owned of the deal, and where she was calculated in their split plan. You can see total amounts, if there are any adjustments, everything that she needs to know to be comfortable with why she got that exact amount. Then, if I'm satisfied, all I have to do is click another button, click post, and it's going to go through and make our journal entries to balance those out again as well. So on the payables ledger, we'll see everyone drop down to zero. We go to Emily Line, scroll down to the bottom of our ledger, we can see the agent payment. Our apply to lines go right here, and here's the two payments for these two credits, the debits that balance it out. Then when it's time to sync this with QuickBooks or your general ledger, we just run one simple report. We put in an end date and a start, the range that we actually want to true up our summary entries. It'll create a nice review that we can see here for our payables as well as our receivables side. And if we wanted to integrate it directly to QuickBooks, we could have it automate those journal entries for you. Or if you're using something else that we don't have an API integration for yet, it takes about 5 minutes to make the summary entries. We're going to debit each one of our receivables categories and credit cash and do the reverse on the payable side. And again, all of this is always here for you to go back and see. So if you needed to go look at an old deposit, you can always come back in and view that. So here's the one that we just made. And I've got that information. And again, just record keeping, everything in one place, never a penny slipping through the cracks. I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts and the real fun stuff where back office, CFOs, accountants really view us as a step above anything else, where even we can come in and on each ledger create miscellaneous adjustments. So if I needed to create a miscellaneous debit, I can come in here and actually do so. I can even see before I do it the preview of the adjustment that I'm going to make before I actually post that to my ledger. Everything that we're doing is FAB accepted accounting, as well as SEC compliant in terms of how they can audit both our database and each of the journal entries from an accounting standpoint that we're making. Final thing here, we've been through capture. We've been through all of the accounting workflows, or at least a lot of them. We didn't look at the draw plans or agent expenses or miscellaneous payables or miscellaneous receivables or all the fun things that we can do in there. Even voiding checks and a lot of things that may remind you of QuickBooks. Now it's to reports. And this is really convenient if you are the one that is managing a big host of spreadsheets for commission management and you're constantly being asked to make reports. Well, now that person has a login to CommissionTrac. They can easily jump in here. And if they just want to know what are the aged receivables that are out there as of today, can really easy break down every deal, our 30, 60, 190, or 120 plus aged receivables. Agents can log in, they can run their own aged receivables reports on just deals they're on if they police that themselves. If you just wanted to see a list of leases that are going to expire in some date range, maybe from the beginning of 2018, and we're just going to make sure we get some data in here. It is a demo account. We wanted to see a list of upcoming expiring leases and just how much they were worth. Really easy for us to gather that information. Each deal, come in here and see if there's a total commission amount, kind of prioritize our business. Another couple of things, if we wanted to download our receivables ledger or aggregate all of our receivables ledgers into one, we can come in here and say, okay, for maybe I just want to see the receivables activity in one place for every ledger for last month through this month. And it's going to create that for you. If you wanted to download this into Excel, we click one button and it'll download the file into a nice Excel format for you. That's about it for the general presentation. I've got a couple of minutes if anyone does have any questions. And again, there is a lot going on in here. One thing we pride ourselves on is our customer service and not being difficult to reach. You can always come in. There's a getting started guide, frequently asked questions, announcements, a couple hundred nice articles in here and more being added every day on how to use the system. Or if you're like me, give us a call. Just call one of our full customer support team, all located here in Atlanta, Georgia, and have hundreds of hours on the platform, and you're trying to make that miscellaneous adjustment on the receivables ledger. We can easily walk you through it so you don't have to worry. And then I'll just conclude with jumping onto our pricing page so it's transparent and everyone can see it. And if anyone does want that one-on-one demo experience to ask a lot of questions and get into the nitty-gritty of, how does this support a 4-office, 150-person brokerage? Or how does this support a 3-person family team? We have both, everything in between, ranging from a 2-person organization to in the hundreds. So just let us know and we'd be happy to help. What other systems besides QuickBooks do you integrate with? So right now we have QuickBooks, we integrate with a couple of CRMs, and really through our partnership with OpenBox, if it is a cloud-based system with an open API, we can integrate with it. So just about everything. We've even created integrations with on-premise platforms using OpenBox's kind of robot as a service type relationship. So the sky's the limit in terms of integrations, QuickBooks being the one that just comes out of the box and you can plug and play. Q&A, I have what happens, information/data to a delinquent account. Can it be restored? So we don't lock people up. We're not CoStar. You sign a 1-year contract, but you just give us a 30-day written notice if you want to cancel it. Then you have 90 days to get your data out. We do store data for accounts that have gone dormant for 12 months in our database, and then it's subject to being screened or cleaned. And got a couple more minutes here. I think I've covered all of the questions that have shown up in the chat as well as the Q&A. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. And again, I really think that these go a lot better when there's some questions and answers. We do map CommissionTrac to your process instead of saying this is how this works now. You tell us how your process works and we map CommissionTrac to it. So I would suggest just coming in, requesting a demo. It is super easy to do. It's not like filling out a form and then waiting 3 days for someone to respond. In fact, you click request a demo. We have a little partnership with another Atlanta startup called Calendly. And if my internet agrees with me, I'm going to stop my video just to make sure we can get some. You can easily come in. Maybe it's next Tuesday you're looking for, and you just select a time, put in your email, and it creates a meeting invite for you. You could also click more booking times if you're like, gosh, I'm busy, but I do want to take a look at this once we get into November. Can go pretty far out into the future, select a date and a time, and set it up right here. So hope to see some of you soon. Thank you again, and on to the next demo.